Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
So, as always, want to thank our Patreons for your support.
Indeed, we want to say a huge thank you. You guys definitely keep us going.
Absolutely. And this is going to be a short one, but a really curious one. So, I wanted to do this totally separate. I was doing a normal video, and it's like, no, let's just talk about this by itself, because there is something to this. I don't think this is nothing. Cindy picks up too that this may be something. So this is just another tweet on Twitter. You see two cop cars. Looks like it's at the end of a strip mall. You see this APC container. You see, I mean, this is the thing that catches my eye. It's so clearly a red eagle, but my goodness, the style of that eagle. So that really got me curious as to, well, who is this company that has a very, very Anunnaki-looking eagle on it? AP, yeah. Let me do a little looking. But before I did, I just called Cindy over and said, do you feel that there's anything to this container? And I had it like this. She couldn't read it. And she said, I feel like there's weapons in there.
Yeah, I mean, you can just feel and see guns.
Yeah, guns. Remember all those, and I know you guys remember, all those unusual ammunition requests for the IRS, even the post office. People have talked about this, and why did they keep squirreling away these stashes of weapons for, or branches of U.S. government that shouldn't need massive quantities of weapons, the type of quantities of ammunition that goes to the battlefield. Yeah, well, I think all that's going to be answered. Everything is being answered kind of at this point in time. But man, that is one Anunnaki-looking eagle. So this is it. You see American president lines. This eagle was adopted back in 1938. It's interesting. They called the company American President Lines because, as you could see right here, a dollar line President 535 liner from 1926. Dollar was the name of the family that started this business and shipping containers. As we can see, different ships named Dollar. But this has got a very interesting history. It goes all the way back to 1848, following the end of the Mexican-American War. And it's interesting that this company has been used in times of war to haul various things. And the other thing that was interesting was gold. I kid you not. It's got an Anunnaki bird on it. And it was used to haul gold. You can't make this stuff up. You also can't make up this down here too, because they ran into some problems. In November 2016, the Hong Kong Customs and Excise Department seized a shipment of 9 Terex APC vehicles. This is what they look like, along with other equipment belonging to the Singapore Armed Forces at the Kwai Sing Container Terminal, formerly Kwai Chung Container Terminal. The shipment was seized because APL, which had been engaged by the Singapore military to handle the shipment, did not have appropriate permits for vehicles and equipment. So it was announced that they would be returning the military equipment to Singapore. So the fact that this is a company that moves military hardware and gold, and we got containers sitting out there being guarded by police. What do you bet's inside that?
What could possibly go wrong, kids?
You know, this is really, really fascinating. And I'm surprised that there wasn't more out there about this. But a lot of people were talking about that. What if they have weapons? Weapons for the ground troops they're bringing in. You know, and so there is some interesting little tidbits here. I do remember also listening to, I want to say it was in Ireland, where there was an innkeeper that was overhearing a conversation, and it was in regards to migrants and waiting for equipment, let's say. Yeah, there's been more than one of these types of things going on that people have picked up on. I'm really surprised there hasn't been more, in all honesty. The thing that I hit too, and like you say right here, just saying, 1944, we were just talking about D-Day. Yeah, they carried their weapons. 2024, this was this particular one. I forget if this was Florida or California, because we've seen similar boatloads that look exactly. I mean, it's the same situation. The way the people go running. This is an invasion. Yeah, their weapons will be passed out later. So one smaller container can fit 2,000. 2,000. So send the people in. They'll be meeting up with their weapons. Not to even discount the fact that, you know, one of the biggest illegal gun dealers in the United States is the cartels, and they're running rampant. They are probably going to be looked at to kind of control the border areas. So, you know, be very, very aware of that. Lots of good questions by people. And then I did find that there was somebody else that discovered, you know, American President Lines has been a trusted partner to the U.S. government and its military for ocean transportation and in country, I should say, but still, it's USA Inc., right? Logistics. It's now owned, the line is now owned by a French company, so that would be the parent company. But given their history, I think knowing the history, the chances that this tweet is right, I think, go up dramatically.
Yeah. So this is definitely something to watch, because it's awful. It's awful what they're doing. They're so methodical about it. You know, obviously regular law enforcement is aware of it. And so many other levels of enforcement are aware of it. And, you know, we really need to take care of ourselves, because we can see that they're not going to be taking care of us. They're making sure they're following orders. And that's where I think things need to change, where people need to follow their intuition. They need to follow their gut instead of just always following orders. But it's very difficult, because such a small age. I mean, we're taught what to think, and we're taught to follow orders, and we're taught that, you know, don't worry about that thing. This is your job. We are definitely not a free species in the brain. We're not. We're just taught to go dot to dot from one point to the next and not look anywhere else. But we do have the capability to be free thinkers, to be free spirited. It's just about waking those up, activating those energetic bodies, and getting people to ask questions about, okay, what am I doing? Is this in the best interest of me and my family? What's going to happen to my family if I'm doing this? And there's all of these really bad things happening. Am I enabling something? We just need to spread the word. We need to open up further.
Yeah, and this is just it's expected, but it's still something to see it. And then the symbolism right in our face. You know, when you look to the eagle being used in this fashion, you see the Roman eagle, the Nazi eagle, United States eagle. Yeah, I did videos on this going way back, showing how they always work kind of out in the open. It really is all out in the open. And again, we get called CONS piracy theorists, because we see patterns. It's just patterns, guys. It's just patterns. It should be something that we notice. But again, most people are too dumbed down with fluoride and other things to really pay attention. And you see Russia, when we go back to the time of the czars, and what does that word, where does that even come from? Czar, Caesar. That's where, the root of this. It's another extension. You see, it was a double-headed version. Again, this is where we first see it. We see it in Babylonia, which again is the Fertile Crescent area, where we're taught that, all of a sudden this is where civilization popped up, but that is not accurate. And now we know that's not accurate. There's new discoveries all the time. Göbekli Tepe is something that throws a big thorn in that whole philosophy or that particular history. But we do see, straight as can be, wings with a human in there, with a human, and holding some sort of ring of power. I don't know. Did you ever pick up anything on those rings?
There is some sort of magnetic electricity going through them. I feel that they have the power to operate this thing that he's flying in. So, there's a connection with it. I'm not sure what, and I don't think that's the only thing that gives him the connection to that aerial equipment there. So it's definitely technology. I feel there's so much more to it. It's just not coming right now at the moment.
Well, it looks like he has a stylish Rolex on, doesn't it? You have these beings with bird heads, and again, they hold pine cones, typically pineal gland pine cones. They control our third eye. They control the dumbing down process. And here you go. This is very ancient, and you have a double-headed eagle right here being depicted. And we also have kind of satyrs with horns. Very, very satanic looking. Yeah. Well, again, it's all a distortion. The two-headed bird of prey ruled ancient Mesopotamia and Hatti. The Hittites had, they were one of the civilizations that used this as their symbolism. Remember, again, if you go back to the Tower of Babel, you see they couldn't have humanity unified. They had to spread us out, confuse our language because they genetically altered us so we couldn't use things like telepathy anymore. So, languages developed. Before that, we just communicated telepathically. This is how most people communicate out there. And so, these are symbols of different families, again, different groups, family as in a bigger family, because you have, when we say Anunnaki, it's a broad term, and it can include all sorts of different beings from different star systems. But what we're specifically talking about is the ones that are under the Draco control. So the Byzantine, Austrian, and Russian empires all had this double-headed eagle. Now the containers have the single head, but again, you can tell which particular group is under control of which particular families. Now, we have said there's ultimately one power structure on the planet, but yeah, there are, again, claims to ownership of each nation state, each tribe, by these different groups, different beings, again, different families. Can you guess what this is? This is the Rothschild crest. This is the Rothschild crest. Again and again and again, we see the same things. The symbolism is right in front of us, and it's the reverse. What do you have? You have St. George slaying the dragon, or is it Archangel Michael slaying a dragon? Again, the dragon here is representing old Tiamat, because again, Tiamat is the planet from which Earth was created, and yet what we're talking about there is Kundalini energy. And again, Kundalini energy is that which lights up the pineal gland and gives us our third eye. And they are saying they have control of it. Well, they had, but not anymore. And yet, Cindy is still getting visions, as we shared with you guys over a year ago. I want to say it came out the same time that we ended up getting the message from the guides that sometime in early June there would be what looks to be, we interpreted, so we could be wrong, we interpreted it as the war breaking out in June of 2024, along with new volcanic activity that seemed to be in the U.S., or at least the Pacific Northwest. She said it felt like, well, it could be all the way up into Alaska, but it really felt more like somewhere in either California, Oregon, or Washington. But the vision of the bear crossing water in an aggressive manner is something we've interpreted as being Russia coming to attack the U.S. with its allies. And, you know, this is something that's been given to Cindy multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, it's been coming back the last the last few days. We're doing videos. It's just coming back. It's just popping up out of nowhere. So I don't know really what to make of it. It's a thing, and it's showing itself for a reason. Could be various different reasons. We could completely have a wrong interpretation on it, but there's always something behind them.
Absolutely. So we thought we would share with you guys. We look forward to your comments, your questions. Thank you so much for being part of this family. We love you guys. Stay safe. Namaste.
Namaste.